Hi! Inside of this lecture, we're going to learn something called array list. Working with arrays is cool actually. Okay, I'm going to name these arrays. And we have an even cooler data structure called array lists. So sometimes you see as lists in other programming languages. In Java we call them array lists, but they are basically the same. It's actually the same thing with arrays, but it's much more flexible when we compare it to the arrays. Because over here, when you initialize a new empty array, you have to specify some kind of parameter that limits the capacity of those arrays. But inside of array list, you don't have to do that at all. You can just initialize an array list as an empty list, and you can add or just remove any element that you may want later on. For example, you can just write array list, and beware there is some kind of angular parenthesis over here, which is smaller or bigger size. And over here you have to specify the type of the variable that you're going to be storing in those array lists. So I'm going to call string, for example, because they will be a string. It's going to be a string array list. I'm going to call this my musicians, okay? And I can come over here and just say this is going to be a new array list and close the semicolon. So maybe you can come up with situations like that where you will see the type in the second right side of the equation as well, like new array list string over here. You don't have to do that actually, it's deductible, but if you see it like this, yeah, it's okay as well. Okay, you had to be using this before, but right now it's perfectly okay. So my musicians.add will add a new element to the array list. So it will expect string, obviously, because we made it to be. Now I can just say out.println my musicians dot get, and when you say dot get, it will ask you for an integer, which is an index. Okay, so I'm going to say 0 because we already have only 1 over here. It will bring out the James to me like this. So I can add as many as I want. Like I said, I can say my musicians.add Lars, and I can come over here and say my musicians.add, and actually I can add it anywhere I want as well. It has some different values, different properties, different methods like this. As you can see, you can just specify the string, but you can specify the index if you want as well. For example, you can say that, yeah, add Lars, but add it to this index. Okay, I don't want it to be added on the last index that you are available. I want Kirk on the first index, which is the second element of this array list. So it will be James, Kirk, and Lars in this case, right? So let me do it like this. I'm going to add another one called Rob, and let me just get everything in this list so that you can see what's going on. Rather than 0, I'm gonna say 1, 2, and 3. And later on, don't worry, we're going to see a perfect way to get every element inside of an array list with a single method. So here you go, James, Kirk, Lars, and Rob. If we hadn't have this index thing, then we would have seen James, Lars, Kirk, and Rob, but this time we see James, Kirk, Lars, and Rob because we specified Kirk to be put into the first index as the second element inside of this array list. So that's how you work with array lists. As you can see, it's much more flexible when we compare them to the arrays. You can just not specify any kind of capacity at all. You can put the elements in whatever index you want, and it's perfect for working with data that you're not sure of. Maybe you're downloading it from internet and you don't know whether it's going to be 10 elements or 12 elements or 1000 elements. So you're gonna come across array lists in the Android applications very often.